Hello, folks. We're back again, and
are.
today, Owen, would you like to venture into the world of VraHode?
VraHode?
VraHode? Am I
VraHode?
carrying the O too much?
VraHode of VraHode. I don't know.
VraHode.
I want to just say VraHode. It's got the big line over the O, so that's what I'm assuming, if I can remember my English pronunciation correctly.
Yes, this is Weather Vane Games. Latest and greatest. It is coming out. It's coming out in October 1st. October 1st on Kickstarter, and then it's going to GameFound.
Is this who you say again? This was Weather
Vane Games.
Okay. What do you know? Do we know what else they've done?
This is their first.
Okay,
as far
so
as
this
I
is
can.
the very first.
So Jeff, the designer, Jeffrey.
Okay.
He thought of this in 1993. I believe is what it said in the little blurb. And so this has kind of been one of those things where he's been gradually getting it all together. I think he was. I'm struggling to remember some of the information, but I believe he was a graphic designer and an artist and a
D&D player.
Yeah. And he and the people that are involved in this are fellow gamers, and so they've endured a lot of Kickstarters, and from the sound of it, maybe a few bad Kickstarters.
Oh.
So what their goal with this was to be like really, really prepared.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, so far, glancing at this prototype that arrived all in shrink wrap and stuff, but it says partial review copy.
It only took 30 years to prepare, right?
Yeah. So he's got it right.
It's a Boy Scout. You always come prepared.
But I've got a very, very tight looking prototype to show you all today, and kind of introduce
really excited.
Ourselves and you to the world of VraHode.
VraHode.
And you can think of this as sort of a scout ship. So this is going to go out and hopefully fund and do well. And then there's more installments of this coming just the next year. So they're already working on the next part of this.
Cool.
And it gets crazy. So it's got all these tiles, and it's got this sort of terrain system where it platforms up, and they become three-dimensional.
Yeah,
so there's
I've seen them do that on some games. I've seen some of that where they they have levels and stuff.
It looks neat. It looks like the kind of thing where every time you buy a box, you get more pieces of these modules. And then eventually you have this whole table full of just scenery, elevated terrain and scenery. And
my only question with that is, like, how easy is that going to be to, like, pop back apart and put back in your box and put back together? We'll see.
Is it like a Frosthaven where you set it up the night before?
or you put it together and then you don't want to have to unpiece it. So hopefully whatever. I could just imagine that'd be a little difficult.
That's a little further in the future.
Basically,
the rule set is all based off this. So this is like a great way to step in and kind of see what you think. And I got to tell you, it's got a few things in there that are different than I've seen before. But let's just quit talking and go right in there. Here's a little preview of all this stuff. It's just a lot of text. This is a review copy. Like I said, is not final. There are some things they want to change, and I believe they mentioned some of that will be in the insert itself. It is a fairly large box. It's narrow.
Yeah, it's definitely not the biggest as far as a campaign goes.
And this, I think we've got 8 episodes in this version of the campaign. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through some of those episodes. I've been told we can make any kind of video we want about it.
Awesome. Yeah.
So maybe we'll film at least a playthrough of some of these. Maybe one, maybe more. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe talk about our thoughts as well.
So this is a little encounter maps envelope, and inside here we have like all the paper stuff. Let's see, there's something else in there.
Yeah.
So what is that?
Legendary creatures. So yeah.
Oh, that's one of the creatures.
I flipped through the rule book a little bit in this as well, or a decent amount.
Zoomed in here.
In order to, I don't know, do you want to pull the box away or do you want to keep it behind? I'm not sure if you're worried about the...
let's leave the box in so I can...
Okay. I didn't know if we were worried about the... But yeah.
It's got a small little rule book here.
Yeah, a decent amount of pages. Does this have the This doesn't have. Is there a separate one for the campaign stuff?
So from what I understand, the campaign is built into these little these modules. So you'll open like part 1 and do that, and then part 2.
Quite a bit of text.
Yeah, I went through this. It's about 30 something pages.
Yeah, it looks
I
like
went through it at work today and read and kind of glanced at different things as I had a break. This is the way the bad guy cards are going to lay out. They've got stats, little flavor text, and then a few extra rules and stuff. I believe this is the big bad in this box. From what I understand, a lot of the rules and stuff, they're very similar to things that you're already familiar with.
Yeah, that's what I noticed going through the rules that I did, was that it was very easy to go through that rule book if you know any of these campaign style games like this, these RPG kind of games.
And it's the artwork, from what I've seen, looks really neat. It's sort of like the way, kind of dark, but sort of in the way that Gloomhaven did. They've got their own sets of characters that try to break those bounds of all the same different types of Lord of the Rings characters and stuff that are in every single game.
Yeah, very much a page from Gloomhaven, and the art and the lore design, where they're using unique kind of species characters and stuff. So you're not, like you say, it's not just elves and dwarves and whatever
Right.
orcs.
There's a few chits in this, and some standees and stuff. There is going to be like a standee and a miniature option, I believe. This did come with some miniatures, and it looks like they're sun-dropped. So we'll get to that in a second, but I guess the sun-dropping will probably be an option too, unless it's something they did to make it a little bit more interesting to look at in a preview. And this is the way the scenarios are coming in. So we've got 1, and then inside of here will be 2. So this is extremely shiny. And what you'll see is sort of Gloomhaven style on the map. You've got the scenario kind of spelled out at the top. And then you've got a map to work out that scenario on.
And then you've got, so the map is all cordon off into little, maybe you can't see it real well on the camera, but there's little squares for each of these sections, so you know where you're walking and how you can use your range of movement. But it otherwise blends in really well, though. I like that when they could still make decent art behind the grid.
Yeah, and so it looks like each scenario is just kind of spelled out on the page, sort of Gloomhaven style. And but unlike Gloomhaven, they're not like in a book or anything. They're just kind of in a binder with these. And of course, I don't know what the final will be, if it'll be like this. And this is a lot different than the stuff I saw for the campaign that's coming next year, which is like individual tiles, and more like, almost like Cthulhu Death May Die with a 3D element to it. But it looks pretty neat.
Yeah, I like it when they have the maps all kind of together like that, where you don't have to piece them together.
It's almost like those storybook style games that have like the little books, and you turn the page, and then you've got, that's what that adventure is.
And we're talking about Gloomhaven a lot. This is definitely a very different game than Gloomhaven, other than the fact that it's like an RPG kind of adventure campaign. But you know, even Gloomhaven did that too, though, where they sold, like, people wanted a book that just had the maps.
Oh, really?
So that they didn't have to
for
go
the
the maps
first
out.
for the core Gloomhaven.
I think they did that for the core. Well, if they did, I know they came back and did it for Frosthaven. I think they maybe did it back for the core as well, or at least the second edition.
Oh,
I think the second edition maybe just had that as an option that you could add in when you were backing it.
There's really a lot of stuff here. Just a quick glance, a lot of this text though is like flavor text to kind of set the scene and stuff like that. So, pretty cool. Now, as we dig into the box here, we want to pull that out. So those are, if you flip them over, those are going to be the player boards, and this is a recessed board with little tiny little slots here. We'll see more about where those fit on here in a minute.
So I guess this is just technically dual layered at that point, but then you've also got the slots that are going all the way through as well. But that is because these do something pretty cool. These are all the same, all this artwork. And I'm wanting to see what that looks like when we get to that cool thing, because I did see a peek of it, but we'll get there.
So these are little boards for the enemies. So as you fight enemies and stuff, their little stats will be tracked.
Or if you have like little allies or other maybe NPC characters that show up.
I can't remember if that's the case or if it's always enemies or something. This looked a little bit different, I think, in the instructions, or maybe I'm remembering it wrong. But those are pretty interesting. We've got a grab bag. This is going to be one of those things where you draw for initiative. So that's the little baggie.
Yeah, we're not rolling for initiative. We are drawing.
I don't know what these are. So these are. I thought it would just kind of be uncovered in the rules, but I don't remember seeing this, so I'm not certain. But these are little acrylic. They're like stands, and then they've got these little these other little pieces, and I'm not certain what their purpose is, but when we go to play this, we'll explain in more detail. And it's like invisible here in my hand. I'm trying to show you.
Yeah. These are like your energy that you're using for your skills.
What does that call it?
Rule or something like that?
It's like RHL or something.
Something like that, RUHL. So that's your standard crystal. Crystal gem that is in everything, including fish tanks.
Oh, they are.
It fits right.
Oh, you know what these are? These are exactly like the fire tower gems, but they're clear instead of...
they're the every game gem. I don't know if I see gems anymore that are different. The last game I can remember that had different colored gems like that was Now or Never. No, Near or Far. I don't know. Near and Far, I think, from... What's his name?
We've got a couple of interesting dice. We've got a D20, and then we've got this other, like... I'm not sure what you call that.
Like
dice.
A modifier die. So yeah, something that you're using that's got you either have a +1. Well, I'm getting reversed here on camera. You either have a +1, -1. There's +3. There's a -3, +2, -2. So I think you're gonna roll that when you're doing certain I think it's just your basic attacks. Nothing special about this particular D20. I don't know if they're gonna do something different in the campaign with like. Something that's got a picture. You know, a lot of these campaigns do like a picture, like some special symbol for the crit or the negative. You know, the critical fail or the critical success.
Here we have this deck of cards it's the heroes and the villains. So as it says here, enemies. Not villains. They're not bad. They just happen to be that way. And you can see here we've got stats. These will inform. What statistics you enter on here in your setup, and probably the maximums and stuff that could be there. And then on the back, it's got some special rules and stuff. And there's a real interesting mechanism with this and the way it interacts with the board and stuff. So I'll show you that in a minute. But here we've got a lizard person. I don't know what it is. And
wood nymph witch. Sorcerer.
Where?
I guess it looks more like a rogue.
Oh yeah, some lady or
centaur.
A person with a horse behind. Centaur-esque.
Yeah.
And this person with big ears and a bad attitude.
Yeah. A bad attitude.
A bad attitude.
Yeah, he's kind of like the little nasty version of fairies is what he looks like. He's got the kind of the little beak mouth and the wings in the back.
He's just drawn that fae.
Yeah, definitely. Right.
Did you get it?
It's a good one. Here's some of the other cards. So these are allies, and these look like these are all lizard people.
Oh, there are allies. Huh?
And then we have just a little bit of the artwork on some of these monsters. I do like the art. It is kind of dark, but otherwise it's pretty pleasant to look at.
They got a real simple stat line. It's easy to understand.
These don't have anything special in the back. They just say enemies. We already saw that. All right, we'll just kind of quickly flip through the last little bit. What's that? A big beetle?
Looks like it. And in this copy, we've got a couple of the monsters and all the heroes, it looks like, and then standees for all the other guys. This looks like it would be something that would be really interesting to paint. We've got a whole wad of treasure items and other items. We're going to put those aside.
Yeah, I'll work on those.
Let's pull out this.
Pull my dagger.
Pull out these miniatures and take a look at that. So start with the heroes. Oh, it's got that smell. It's like a varnish.
That smells like a shoe shop.
It's probably the coating that they put on right before they put in here to kind of seal it in. And stuff. All right, so let's take a look at. They look neat. It doesn't feel like resin.
You know, that's kind of look like. They kind of look like the miniatures from Dwellings of Eldervale.
Oh, yeah.
They're about the same level of detail. Maybe a touch, just a touch more detail than the ones from Dwellings of Eldervale, but the same kind of dirty wash on them. Not trying to say that disparagingly. It's just the style. It's kind of that dark, just like a dirty wash. It almost looks like it's just been like had a base color and then just had a black wash put over it.
It's very unmatched. It's a lot like Unmatched is. Although I'd argue these characters are kind of interesting. The material of this is a little rubbery, but it feels like they were molded. Like I'm not seeing a bunch of like crooked.
So is this what we're expecting then out of the actual?
You know,
campaign?
I am not certain. It could be quite different. This does look. It looks really finished though in a lot of ways. Like because this doesn't feel like a lot of times when they send you prototypes of these things, they'll either be 3D printed. And this is just for me watching lots of videos. This is the first prototype that's ever been sent to this place.
Do you ever smell the packs of cards? I usually, when I'm doing an unboxing, I like to smell the cards and see what they have a pretty pleasant smell to them.
Are they fresh?
Some don't.
Are they
There's
fresh?
a certain smell that certain cards have that's really nice. It's the old Magic cards, the old original Pokemon card smell. It's nostalgic.
Yeah, Owen's addicted to ink.
Yeah.
Inkers are us.
Just.
Here's a little pesky Batman. And then we've got this little
mini dragon.
Yeah, it looks like a little tiny baby dragon or something. Little bird.
Wyvern.
And then it's Mama.
She's kind of like almost got a horse thing going on. Has it got hooves? No.
It's got a little claws.
Just got those back legs, so it's kind of the.
Looks like it's up on a spire or something.
There's a way to tell the difference between dragons and wyverns and all that crap, and I have no idea how that goes. But
the wyverns usually have 2 legs.
Okay.
And then the arms are the wings.
Okay, so this is more of a full dragon, but it has bird wings.
It does have. It's got like a beak.
Yeah.
It's got like a beak or something here.
Yeah.
And the artwork for it is really colorful. Like it's a.
Yeah, it's kind of
looks like it could be a really cool painting project.
Like a brilliant, majestic kind of creature rather than some nasty beast.
I like it when the monsters are purdy.
Yeah. Sean likes to paint pretty things. I do, while I've got them in my hand, I do have some of these small cards as well. So we can kind of look at a little bit of the artwork for some of the items that you're going to see. Bandages, there's a bunch of those. Cloth armor. Flail, a lot of your basic fare. Nice pictures though. I like that they did a little more in the artwork than some games. You know, like I got a Harakiri recently, and really pretty artwork on that. But their weapons and all their cards are just like kind of plain looking. They don't have any background. They just have a little background to them. Healing waters, salves, leather armor. yeah, all your basic stuff that you would find in your market. Short swords.
It's pretty neat too the way they store them and stuff. It's really clever.
Stone dagger. Yeah, and then probably some items that might show up along. It looks like there's some special information on some of these cards too.
Well, there's some skills
Skills, yeah,
and stuff that you can get, so you
that
can
makes sense.
you can
Yeah,
either attack or do other things. I haven't.
Now that I look at these are actually colored too to the set, so there's like a set for each one. So it's probably for each character.
It looks like armor.
And then you have sleep cards too, because there's a whole resting mechanic in here where you have to put somebody at watch and have them keep an eye out so that you don't get ambushed. So there's restful sleep, and then there's ambush cards, and what are these? And then you've got like herbs and things that you're picking up to get over like illnesses that you can pick up in the game too. So I thought that was kind of neat. There's certain of these herbs and mushrooms and things that you have to get over specific illnesses that you pick up.
Yeah, sometimes fighting the different monsters will make you sick in certain ways.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And then we just have, again, more armor, and I'm going to go through every single one of these, but potions.
So there's some sort of market system in this too, where you can acquire new things, but you have to trade. So there's a market value on these cards and stuff. And there's like a trade-in value, and then there's so what it would cost you to get it from a merchant, and what he would pay you for that item would be less. Yeah. So, but you trade in your items and stuff to get new items.
Look like special items. Cool. Those are all mini Euros stuff. This looks like standard mini Euros and standard size cards. So I do like when games don't try to do unique cards, because I'm a sleever, so I like it when they do the ones that are like the cheapest ones to buy.
Leave it to sleevers.
Leave it to sleever, yeah.
All right. I'm breaking this out.
This is what I'm looking for.
So these, oh wait, I don't want to give it away yet.
Okay.
Not yet. Here's the standee stands.
Oh, okay.
Making those little acrylic things go even further into question.
Yeah, I wonder what that is.
No need to dwell on this too much, but they're little black plastic standee stands that look pretty nice.
Maybe those are force fields, little invisible force fields.
I'm sure they have a purpose. We'll figure it out. We've got, now these are a little different than I've seen. These are plastic, and they're small compared to the standard little clear cubes that you see with every single game. I wonder if I got that.
Yeah, and they also look, if I'm seeing it right, it kind of looks like there's a pip.
Is there?
On some of these, just a little. Yeah, they got like a little single pip. I wonder what that's about. I don't know if you can really, well.
Oh gosh, it's so small.
Yeah, you see that one dot, and it's not everywhere. It's just like on the one corner. I don't know what that's about. Maybe it just indicates whether something's on or off.
So next to your dashboard, there's going to be places to kind of like either give you a buff or maybe take something away from one of your attributes. And we've got these tiny little D6s with pluses and minus.
Yeah, they look like the same as the big one.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
They got both a plus and a minus from 1 to 3.
The last little marker.
Man, those are tiny.
Yeah, I know, right?
I don't know if you can see how tiny that is.
It's teeny tiny. What, is that D6 still around?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, D6 is a little more standard, like dice. If you're buying a set of 2 dice,
you can see the scale of it compared to that thing.
Yeah.
And we got another little bag with little red markers, and another little bag with little white markers. These are not cubes. These are little rectangles. They look like little cut pieces of plastic. And
yeah, these are just other.
I think they measure your stamina or something like that. All right.
Something.
So the last bit, and something really unique with this, is this dashboard for the players. Take a look at that.
Yeah. Let me get one of those.
Yeah, take that. There's
Okay,
four,
yeah,
there's 4 of them in this set.
I was hoping when I looked, I couldn't tell if it was that really thin plastic or not, but it's pretty thick.
Oh, it's not. Very sturdy.
Yeah, it's like, what you would 3D print to fix some cheap ones. But these, you get to do the insert here, and I'm assuming this would probably hold. No, I don't know. I wonder here, you probably don't have enough to actually hold everything afterwards, but at least while you're playing it, you do.
Yeah, so the way it works is these are going to be cards that are equipped. These are cards in your backpack. So as you get items, you just slip them under there and you can keep them.
Right.
In here is where you put those little diamonds, those little gems and stuff. And as you spend them for magic, you put them in here. You have the ability to get your energy back. All those little dice, those little tiny dice with the negatives and stuff, they're going to go right into here. Right here at the top is a place to put your character card. And you'll use this part to augment all these numbers here, when you first start. And then while you're playing, you can flip this around, and all your special abilities for that character.
It's the room for skill. No, those kind of slot down though, don't they? Where you can't see them real well. Well, I guess you kind of can. I mean, if you got them sitting right there, you can even kind of hang them in.
I think as I understood it, these will end up being stored in here.
Even the skills will.
Maybe there's something. We'll read the rule book and we'll do, and then we'll speculate after that. But
I want to know now.
But basically, a lot of these little tiny chits and all those things are going to slot into here and track your stats. And what you're supposed to be able to do, I think, is take your player card. I can't remember if it was supposed to go just like flat like this, and then they're going to have lids. And if I read this correctly, you're going to have a lid that's going to just snap over the top and save your current place.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that's what cause I was thinking that when I was looking at it. I was like, there's no way to actually utilize this. Because I was going to say that's the one thing I would have added to it is some kind of way to save your stuff afterwards. Because these are pretty neat, though. This is something that, especially if I'm playing a long campaign game, I tend to print something like this because I like to have it where it keeps all your stuff together, especially when you get this sprawling mess on your table.
I'm not actually sure how you would do that and also store them because these stacked into each other and stuff.
I don't know. I guess we'll have to see what they do in the campaign and the campaigns.
It'd be interesting too. Like it probably will fit together just fine over the top of each other. Well, it does. It deters it a little bit.
Yeah, we'll have to. I'm sure these.
But that's why it's all open. That's why this extra spot is open here, so they'll nest into each other. Well, yep. We'll have to see. There's.
I mean, if they put a full lid, it could go all the way down on the edge, and if this is far enough, you can almost fully slot your stuff in here. And honestly, if you did have like a lid that could kind of push up against this, or if this was just a little bit deeper, you could slide stuff in here and keep it together. Something covers over the whole thing.
Or they might come up with another whole system.
Yeah.
They said that they were working on making the insert a little bit more better, or a little bit more accepting of the chits and stuff, or maybe more specialized. So, again, this is a prototype. It'd be the story for this, like the setup for it. I got to read like the little intro story, and it looks like it's pretty well written. I think it's going to be fun. This is the kind of game that, especially Owen, really likes. This.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't play a whole lot of fantasy things, but I like the occasional trip.
Yeah, I like the fantasy theme a lot. I have been deterred of late on backing campaign games because they're hard to get all the way through, but I found recently that a really good story really helps.
Well, this one's meant to take in little bites. So something I was reading was like you can play this in a very short period of time, like under an hour almost, or you can sit down and play it all day long if you want to get through it. I think there's about 40 hours of gameplay in the final version.
Just this core version of the
Yeah.
box, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is just 8 episodes. I believe that there's a lot more episodes. Is what it is. So.
Very cool. Well, I'm looking forward to getting into it.
Yeah. Let us know down below what you'd like to see with this game. Do you want to see it? Do you want to see a full playthrough? Should we go through all of these things? Maybe a how to play. Well, I'm going to try to learn the rules the best I can. In fact, we're gonna stop making videos and we're going to sit here and we're going to play this game tonight.
Yeah. We're just going to have fun tonight.
We're going to try to play this game tonight.
Yeah.
And see how we do. If I get really, really comfortable with the rules, maybe I'll do a how to play or something like that.
I think it'll help because we're both going to read the rules this time.
Yeah.
So I've read most of them.
We're teaming up.
Yeah.
I got all the way up to flying things and then...
Yeah. 25 pages in. Yeah.
I got tired. I get so tired.
It's not that bad. It's really not that bad to get through. It's actually one of the fastest rule books I think I read through because it was such familiar information. So
well, that plus the way it's laid out and stuff. I mean, the biggest kind of weird thing was to get around is the way they do their D20 is the one.
Yeah.
Is the 1 is the good number and the 20 is the bad number.
We're going to see how that plays out because that immediately makes me uncomfortable. That's the one critique I had. I was like, I don't like making a critical success a 1 and a critical fail a 20. That hurts. I don't like that.
Oh, the idea of rolling low
see
to win sounds great because that's been my fate. I'll roll nothing but 20s while we play.
Right.
And next D&D session, I won't be able to roll anything but a 1.
Yeah, that makes it fun.
Makes it interesting.
Yeah, you got to have some critical fails to push that story in an interesting direction.
But we'll do more on this soon. Thank you so much, Weather Vane Games, for sending this out. Remember to look for this in October 1st. So it's coming up real quick.
It's coming up quick.
And if you prefer Game Found, apparently it'll be on there in November. So
yeah, if you miss one, get the other.
Definitely check this out and check out the trailer for the one that's coming after this too. Another very exciting campaign that looks like it's going to be quite a lot of my spare money.
Oh, wow!
It's gone. I will be.
Tis the hobby. Tis the hobby.
I gotta fight on levels. Folks, that's all we have for you today. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back real soon with more content on this and other things. Until next time, enjoy your games. We'll see you soon.
Bye bye.